Program Manager for the California Opioid Safety Network at the Center for Health Leadership and Practice, a program of the Public Health Institute. You are about to watch a video that has been condensed from its original format to provide an overview of how telemedicine can be used to treat opioid use disorder. The subject matter expert is Dr. Matt Willis, our clinical lead for the California Opioid Safety Network. Let's get started.
Today is going to be dedicated primarily to getting a better understanding of telemedicine as it's being practiced by a telemedicine provider who's active in most California counties. And our hope is that, this is a way of understanding this way of providing care and not, a specific endorsement of Right Heart Health per se. I'll hand it over to Helena Rui, who is with Right Heart Health.
Currently, my position is Program Director, and I'm happy to be able to talk to you guys about telemedicine as an option for treatment. It is about bringing in a patient, seeing if they are appropriate for medication-assisted treatment, which is what we're dealing with in the top left-hand quadrant there. And if we believe that this is something that can be beneficial to them based on their substance use history, then we're happy to work with them and provide this medications or any combination. And it is really important that we're not just addressing the physical piece, but that we're addressing all of these other pieces that are really critical to a person's well-being and overall success in recovery. So we want to acknowledge, moving to the right, any mood issues or any things that might be going on emotionally, socioeconomically, that people would need to address, and that's where we bring in our individual sessions, and we also address them in our group format. Groups are tremendous, dropping down into that bottom quadrant. We've really found some amazing peer support. People love to come to groups and just check in with each other, hear other people's stories, kind of get a little bit of it's a mixture of didactic, mixture of medication-assisted treatment with the docs, a little bit of therapy. And when people have the opportunity to kind of see all these different things and see how some of our participants are really utilizing all of our services, they just get a sense of what they can do to kind of better improve their lives and work through things. So we found a lot of support and wonderful things with that. And then, of course, each one of these are really critical, being able to stay connected to the healthcare, to primary care people, to what else is going on in their lives, whether it's housing, employment, legal issues, family services. All these different things are factors that are critical to someone's overall well-being, and we want to stay connected to it, but not in everybody's business. So we're just advocating kind of whole person care and being able to acknowledge all these different pieces, and then of course each individual kind of dictates what they really need in program. This is a patient experience. So if you're joining group, this is what you would see. This is an example of if there were 4 people in group, you would see 4 people. If there were 10, there are 10. We try not to have the groups larger than 10 because it gets a little bit cumbersome after that. So it's a little bit like joining the Brady Bunch intro. And you would think, initially I did when I first started this process, that it would feel kind of a little bit awkward and maybe a bit distant, but I have actually found that because you are looking at the screen and you're kind of looking from the shoulders up, if you will, it tends to be a very actually engaging process, and people get a lot out of this experience. We have people who are willing to talk to our staff, go through an initial assessment period, and then in that process actually make an appointment, follow up with a medical provider, and get themselves into group. Once they get into our group, we have a very high success rate in keeping them around because they get a sense that, 1, we're not here to judge them. 2, we're pretty accessible when it comes to, you don't have to drive somewhere. You can join from your car on break from work. You can be at home. You can be, as long as you're kind of in a private area, you've got some headphones on, you can join group and be able to touch base with your clinical team and let us know what's going on. Our clinicians are really good at interacting with people where they're at. So no one's here to put them into an intensive therapy session, but we are here to kind of acknowledge all the various factors that might be going on. And so what can they do to improve that? Again, I'm going to be using Bright Heart as an example, but I don't mean to suggest that we're the end-all be-all and the only way to do this. So please don't hear that this is the only way that this needs to happen. But I think it's really important that from an accessibility standpoint, One, we meet people where they're at. Again, I feel like that's a really obvious statement, but I'm just going to say it out loud. And then two, be able to provide something that doesn't feel really overwhelming and cumbersome, that feels fairly user-friendly, that there's not a huge expectation of a bunch of treatments and different things like that, and that you can, in fact, live your life, start to make changes, and have a kind of different experience about how to go about all the day-to-day stressors without necessarily picking up some sort of substance in order to kind of get through your day. So that's, I think, why we have such a high retention rate, because we are introducing the reality that you can live your life as it currently stands and start making some small adjustments that will allow you to start getting a little bit more congruent with what feels like you need, where you need to be in life and where you want to be in life.